Welcome to the Gestalt mini-module on awareness. Awareness is the underpinning of Gestalt. It's what Gestalt really became known for. When we say awareness in Gestalt, we're not talking about a kind of intellectual awareness. We're not talking about a thinking, planning, meaning-making awareness. We're talking about a Zen type of awareness. We're talking about a Taoist type of awareness. This type of awareness involves the therapist being able to be present and to bracket out all the thoughts, the judgments, the evaluations in order to be interested in the client's experience. Because what we're doing here is we're focusing in, we're zeroing in to the client and we're saying, what is your experience right now? What do you feel? What are you aware of? What are you aware of? That's a key Gestalt question. Because as we do that, we help the client move past their ideas of who they are or who they should be or what could be or what was, and we bring them into the actuality of the present, whatever that is, happy, sad, fearful. Now this requires a lot of support because people spend a lot of their time avoiding being in the present. And yet this is really the key to therapeutic change from a Gestalt point of view. Working with awareness leads us very deep very quickly, and so it's a tool that has to be exercised with great care and great respect. The use of awareness in Gestalt is facilitative, that is, we're asking the client, what are you aware of right now? However, it's important that I'm also working with my own awareness as a therapist, and I'm asking myself, what am I aware of right now? Because that's also an important ingredient. Now there's many different ways in Gestalt to work with awareness. We have something called the awareness continuum, which is an ongoing question. What are you aware of now? And what are you aware of now? And what are you aware of now? That simple repetitive question can help focus the person on their present experience. Now in the present experience there's different elements. There's the somatic experience, there's their cognitive experience, and there's their sensory experience. These different elements of awareness are brought in by the Gestalt therapist depending on particularly where someone might be stuck, and therefore bringing in what we call another zone of awareness helps loosen the person up. Awareness is something that is not, any child is in full awareness, we might say. They're just naturally there. As we grow up and develop our adult capacities and get trained and educated, our awareness tends to narrow and it tends to go into much more a thought process. Now, whilst that's useful at times, in Gestalt we're wanting to unpack some of that, unpack some of those evaluations and judgments, not because there's anything wrong with them, that they can also be useful, but because they get us in the way of really getting to know the unique personhood of the client, and especially gets in the way of understanding how the client experiences the world. That's what's called the phenomenological approach. We're really interested in this unique person in front of us and their unique awareness. So I need to be able to bracket, that is, set aside all my theories, all my ideas, all my expertise, all my knowing, all my interpretation, and that's quite a challenge as a therapist, in order to be fully with the awareness. Now this is an unstructured process in certain ways because I'm not trying to control or direct them. I'm just trying to support the client in whatever way I need to become fully present. What happens though is that everyone, clients and myself, and you probably, have ways to avoid being completely aware in the present. And these avoidances are the things that are naturally going to come into play when we're bringing the person into awareness. So there's an art form in this, and it needs to be done with sensitivity and some delicacy, because Gestalt is not about pushing, it's not about forcing people into any particular mode, and it's very much about respecting their so-called resistance. So in working with awareness, this is done in a way which is not formulaic, but it's done in a way which really looks at what's happening in the unfolding process and uses each emerging what is the actuality of the person's experience to suggest what might be next, What's the next question? What's the next thing we're interested in? We're interested in untapping this flow of awareness. And in Gestalt, there's a whole methodology of how to do that.